Good morning, everyone. My name is Eleni Sommerschield. I am the Chief Operating Officer here at Wise Agent. I am located in our Fountain Hills, Arizona office, and I have with me today Laura Clark-Prasad, who's with Lone Wolf. Thank you, Laura, for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we're going to be talking today about the wonderful integration that we have created, our companies have created, Wise Agent and Lone Wolf. So we have this great integration between the CRM and the form side that you guys are all going to be using. I know those are both tools in every realtor's toolbox that they should be using daily. And we're going to be talking today about first, we're going to start with why do you need a CRM and how you're going to be best using that. So obviously, we're talking about Wise Agent here. But there's also another CRM out there called zipCRM, which is powered by Wise Agent, and that is a collaboration which was started a few years back with ZipLogix, and we started this great integration between the two companies where you are able to go through a whole entire transaction through your CRM when you get the lead coming in, marketing them using the marketing tools in Wise Agent, and then converting them to a client, going through the transaction with the forms from zipForms Plus, and then going and remarketing to them after close. And so the reason why you need a CRM is something that is asked by so many people all the time. Why do I need a CRM? What's the value there? And I think that's the question we're going to be answering today. And what's great about using a CRM, especially Wise Agent and zipCRM, we're going to be talking about those two in conjunction. So when I say Wise Agent, it's also zipCRM. It's the same thing. What a CRM will do for you, CRM stands for Contact Relationship Management System. And basically what it is it's more than just a Rolodex or a way of finding all your contacts, right, Laura? It's not just that, even though that is a huge part of what a CRM does and what we do here at Wise Agent. But it's also a way to take your contacts and nurture them, build a relationship, and then use the CRM tools, the marketing platforms, the drip campaigns, the monthly newsletters, the flyers, and everything else in our toolbox that we have for you, and convert them to clients. And sometimes that happens really quickly, especially in a market like we have right now. But then sometimes it takes a little bit longer to build that relationship. But really a good key indicator is building that long-lasting relationship. So then once you've completed the first transaction with your clients, hopefully you get that second coveted transaction that about 82% of realtors miss out on every year. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to start off by just saying another quick little reminder for everyone. We are live on Facebook. This is being recorded. We have a Q&A section here that you could ask all of your questions, as well as the chat that you are able to ask any questions there as well. I see some people here are already posting some things. Hey there, everyone. And I'm going to give Laura a chance here to talk a little bit about zipForms and tell us a little bit about the importance of using these forms and having your library put together for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Eleni. So one of the things that I wanted to talk a little bit about today is what you can actually do with zipForm, how you can leverage it, and how that information seamlessly feeds over to zipCRM or Wise Agent. So Eleni, I don't know if you wanted to share your screen or you want me to share my account.
Yeah, I can totally share my screen right now. Awesome. Here we go. All right, so this is when you go to wiseagent.com/lonewolf, this is the screen that you'll land to. You can click on the sign up free to start your 14-day free trial. I'm going to just go into the dashboard right now. Are you able to see my screen? Okay, perfect. And then before we get started too deep in here, for those of you that are currently using transactions or a zipForm edition, there's a couple of ways of getting to that screen. So the first one here is if you click on the, what do you call this, a waffle, Laura? What do you call this?
I do call it a waffle,
okay.
actually.
Okay, good. That's what I call it. So if you click on the little waffle here you'll see it says zipCRM. If you click on this, it'll take you to either a page that looks similar to this where you can sign up free. I believe it takes you to this page here where you can register for your own zipCRM account. If you already have a Wise Agent account or a zipCRM account, then you can click on the sign in here button and then just sign in. So that's a way of getting into your CRM directly from your form. So we have what's called a single sign-on integration, which takes you really quickly with a click of a button from one platform to the other.
Yeah, and so one thing I just wanted to call out too is if you are interested in using the zipCRM integration, of course, the necessary prerequisite on the Zip side is going to be that you have an account. There are a couple different ways that you can do that. One is by going to it's still ziplogics.com website and clicking on sign up for your NAR member benefit. So everyone who's on this call who is a member of NAR, you receive a zipForm account totally free of charge. It is rolled into your member dues. So if one of our panelists on today just wants to pop in that site for the auto provisioning, just so everyone knows, you can go to that site and you can sign up for your free zipForm account. Or alternately, if you're interested in upgrading to a brokerage account, you can call 866-CRY-WOLF. There you will be able to actually upgrade. So just wanted to call that out.
Awesome, thank you for that. So I know we've got a lot of questions coming in, and one of the things I just wanted to dive in. So we talked a little bit about why you need a CRM as a realtor and the importance of it. Laura, can you tell us like what the importance of having your zipForms transaction edition, your account here, having all of your forms and everything ready for you. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to go right over to the templates tab, which is just to the right of transactions,
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about how you can bundle your forms in order to use them across multiple transactions. So you see that there's that lease template there. You can create any type of template you want. You can create a purchase or offer. You can create a residential. So we'll just create today, if you want to create a purchase or offer, and you would just type in the template name, whatever you want it to be. Maybe it's a residential purchase. That's nice and simple. Or maybe you want to name it something a little bit more complex. That's fine as well. Your scope, you can set it. It automatically defaults to personal. If you, like Eleni, are in an individual agent account, if you have chosen to upgrade to a brokerage account, you also have the option to set a global or office level template. So if you're on today and you are a broker or administrator, this is a great way to just add a level of compliance for your agents, particularly if they're brand new, you might want to bundle their forms together. So if we want to go over to the All Forms tab on the extreme, that is where you can access all of your forms that you're entitled to either through your state association or your local libraries. And this is really great because when you get over to the CRM side of things, you're actually able to manage those components in there as well. So in a template, what you would want to do, what the goal is really, is to ensure that you are adding documents that can be repurposed across multiple transactions. So maybe you want to add, if it is a listing template, maybe you want to add your listing agreement in there and anything else that you would need if you are working on a listing transaction. In this particular template case, we have a purchase or offer. Maybe we want to add buyer agency. Maybe we want to add the purchase agreement. So again, this really allows you to bundle those forms so that you can save some time repurposing them across multiple transactions. And we do offer, I know our panelists are going to pop this into the chat, we do offer actually several webinars that talk about the power of those fillable forms in zipForm and also how you can leverage your templates. Another thing that I just wanted to call out is probably about 3 tabs over to the right from templates, we have our contacts area. Right up, yep, on the navigation bar. And this is a great area where you can add contacts in, and those are actually going to feed over to the CRM as well. So if you want to manage those contacts, if you want to add individuals, entities, service providers whom you contact on a regular basis, you're actually going to be able to view those in Wise Agent or zipCRM. Eleni, if you want to click out of this window real quick, I want to show.
I wanted to show, sorry, Laura, I just wanted to
Sure.
explain one thing here to everyone is, so once you connect the two, transactions, zipForm edition to your zipCRM or Wise Agent account, one of the things that we do is you can export all of your contacts automatically to your CRM, which is so important. These are clients that you've already worked with. So it's a really, if you're starting off with a CRM, which I know that's one of the questions is, I'm just starting off and I don't have any contacts in my database. Well, this is a great way of doing this. If you've been using your forms through your NAR benefits, this is, go ahead and take your contacts, export them into zipCRM, and then you're able to manage them and be able to, not have to do any dual entry here. So you click export, and then if you want to go ahead and manage them in zipCRM, you're just with a click of a button, it'll take you directly to that contact record. So it's a really easy way of doing that. Just wanted to point that out to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so one thing I will show everyone too that can kind of lend itself to the contacts populating over to zipCRM is if you want to click on Eleni's zipForm contacts, you'll notice that inside of zipForm, we do have a number of integrations with outside service providers as well. This is part of our partners program. So if you wanted to pull contacts in from your Gmail or from your Outlook and import them into zipForm, those will actually transfer over to zipCRM as well. So that's one way to pull that outside contact list and just feed it right over.
Yeah, and then once you have your contact in here and you're using the marketing tools, now what I can do from this point is I can start adding them to a marketing drip campaign that I've already created. I could send an email out to them. I could send a text message out. So here I can start adding them to maybe a holiday drip campaign. So I can start marketing to them. I can start sending out an email or even do a text message. And of course, all of these actions you can do individually or with bulk actions. So I can just, the click of this button, just say, send a text and it will pop up here. And now I can send a text message saying, hi, Clark, and then put in my message here, and I can attach a video or an image as well. And then go ahead and send this out to that person in a text. I could also include their spouse if they had a spouse in this area here. One of the things is that you can also do, obviously, so once you've been remarketing them, is also start a transaction from this side. So from the integration action right here, I can start a transaction. And again, I can choose buyer or seller and name my transaction. And then I can say this is a listing and the property type, and then I can go ahead and save this. And it just automatically creates it on the transaction side. And now I can view that transaction and manage it directly from here. So again, that single sign-on, it just takes me directly here. And now I can start doing things from this end. Right, Laura?
Yeah, and I saw that, and I know our panelists are working very hard to keep up with everyone's questions. We have a lot coming through today, but I saw one that I do want to call out, which someone had asked, how do those forms update? Do they automatically update in templates? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The only disclaimer I want to make there is if you've already created a transaction and used a template from a previous period of time, you may just want to reapply that template if you notice there are form updates, just to ensure that it updates inside of the transaction. But generally, yes, your templates are going to update automatically if your state or local forms are. And this is a great way to ensure that all of your documents you need get added to your transaction, and you can actually manage those then on the CRM side as well. And Eleni, if you want to show where that icon actually is in the CRM.
Yeah, so from here, let's see, let's go to, so there's a couple of different places. I'm going to show you from our checklist. So within the CRM, you can have a checklist that you create with all the steps that are necessary in order for you to go through a transaction with someone, either listing, buying, whatever it is that you have. It's all templated based as well. So every step of the way goes off of, and this just as a little reminder, this is not training that Laura and I are doing today. We will have some of our training videos posted and blogs that you can read about and watch videos on, but this is not training here. So you would create a checklist template, and then off of that template, you would have whatever it is that the items that you need to be doing that are based off your critical dates. So as soon as I check something or uncheck it, it will input in the date that I've added. So as soon as I say that this has been done, then it will automatically mark it as completed and have the date stamped there of the date that I completed it. And then from here, I can just view all of the transactions, and then I can get the files coming in. So I can come in here and click on any of these files that I want to attach to this checklist. And just with a couple of clicks, I've attached those. And some of them, I think, have already been deleted. This is a demo account, so you gotta love when that happens. But you can see here, so here's the standard listing form that I just uploaded here with a click of a button, and you can see it's filled out and everything is, the way it should be in here. So that's how that would work, is just with literally a click of a button. You can also access your forms from your contacts. So from here, from our contact, Michael Phelps, I can view all of the transactions that I have, and I can again get those files and attach those to, instead of it being attached to the checklist, if you're not using a checklist, you can attach it just directly to this contact record. So you can see option to purchase was just attached here. So this is now lives in this contact record. So every time I go back to this contact record years later, I have all of their files listed here for myself.
Yeah, and Eleni, one thing that's really cool about that as well that I've noticed is that if you have a service provider who you use on a regular basis, like an attorney or like a title company, you can actually see exactly what transactions those individuals are party to by opening up their contact in zipCRM. So it's not only nice just for an individual client that you may be working with for a particular transaction, but you're able to see multiple transactions and forms that those individuals have been working with.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great point, because and sometimes even even for, like you said, an attorney or title rep or lender, whoever, but it's also nice even when you're going through a purchase or any kind of transaction with one of your clients, you could see either this was maybe different properties that they've purchased, or started to purchase but then it fell through for whatever reason. So you can click on these and update those statuses as well, because I know you guys have statuses on your transactions. So you can come in here and you can just say it fell through, and so you can update that really quickly and easily.
And
yeah,
go ahead. I know that a question had come through about archiving transactions, so I wanted to call that out while we're here as well. One of the recommendations I like to make with transactions in zipForm, don't archive them, change the status, because then you can always search that transaction. You can always search the status. If you ever need to resurrect it again, it is there. It just has a different status. It will actually demote it to the bottom of your transactions list if you click on fell through inside of zipForm as well.
Okay, yeah, that's a great thing to note as well. I know that there's a couple of questions about the checklists that I was showing here, and if this is available without being signed up for the CRM. And actually, Jennifer, no. So this you would need to. So just to clarify. We have two separate products that we're talking about. First one is a transactions zipForm edition, which you would be able to sign up for through ziplogics.com. If you are a member of National Association of Realtors, you'll get a free account for that. And then you would be able to also, kind of separately create a zipCRM account. So as you know, a lot of us know already that have been doing this for quite some time in the industry, a CRM is just the way of really managing all of your contacts and keeping everything in one organized way. So let me just close out of this here and just show you a little bit about our contacts here. So what you would have is on the transaction side is your forms and all of your transactions that you're going through. But with real estate, it's more to just a transaction. When you're talking about clients, you don't want to really refer to them as just someone that you transacted with, because then you'll probably never go through a transaction with them again. So really the key is to going through those multiple processes with them, and those multiple deals would be building a relationship. And that's one thing that, when we had talked about doing this integration many years ago was that really what happens is you need a CRM to really start off your database and collect all of your leads getting, and so within Wise Agent or zipCRM, you can get all your leads coming in through our lead management, and that would be from any lead source, right? We have hundreds of lead sources that we integrate either with a direct integration or through email, an email capture system, and you can create a lead rule for every single source. So if you're getting leads from, Zillow or Realtor.com, or if you're posting ads on Facebook, or even using landing pages from within zipCRM, what you can do is manage all of those contacts and get and create a rule for every single one so they can get responded to automatically every time the lead comes in. So within seconds of the lead coming in, you would be able to, if you, let's say, have them on a 10-day conversion plan on a drip program, they would start getting that campaign as however you set it up. And as soon as the lead comes in, if I have this marked as yes, the autoresponder, they'll get this email sent to them automatically. Now you could also include, I love this feature, is a cloud CMA. So let's say you have a listing or an ad out on Facebook, like, are you interested in finding out the value of your home? You can have that landing page set out there on Facebook, have people fill out the form, and then automatically respond to them when they bring in the property address. We'll capture that address as well, and then automatically send them a CMA link. And I know Cloud CMA is also integrated with Transactions zipForm edition.
It is.
So this is a great way of combining all these different tools to really help you save time and money and energy in a lot of things that you do. Because this rule, once it's set, you don't have to change it. It won't just be for that one lead, it'll be for every lead that comes in from that source. So that's, I guess, my long-winded answer to the question of how does this save you time and money, is by setting up these autoresponders. You can also set it up with a text response as well, which is really important. I mean, there's not many people out there that go all day with, multiple unread text messages, unless you're on a really important webinar like right now, right? But you can set it up with an auto text message to go out saying, hey, I just got your request for more information. Can you talk right now? This call to action is that piece that will allow you to have a conversation and start a dialogue with them, so you can start building that relationship, and then, eventually getting closer and closer, inching closer and closer to transacting with them and going through a transaction process with them. So I wanted to point that out. So it's not just about, having your database and then your transactions and then not really having that. You want them interacting for sure, but you also want your CRM to be that middle point where you're building that relationship. So then more transactions happen, maybe with fewer people, but hopefully with more people, but there's multiple transactions for each one of those people that you have in your database. So hopefully that answered your question, Jennifer. All right. So a couple of other questions out here that we keep getting, the same ones, is Wise Agent and zipCRM, are they one and the same? Yes, they are. They're just renamed. So wherever you see Wise Agent here, it will just be rebranded and be called zipCRM powered by Wise Agent. So it is the same exact product. Okay, I know there's a ton of questions coming in that people are asking about. One thing maybe you can answer for us, Laura, is on what would happen if one of the questions is, what happens if a file or an offer wasn't accepted and they have to go back and readjust and put in a different number? Do they have to start a whole new template? Do they have to start a whole new form?
That's a great question. So one thing I'm going to say, zipForm is very flexible and it's entirely up to you. So if something went wrong or the offer fell through, you want to use that transaction file for a different offer, that's perfectly fine. You can go in any of the fields, any of the smart fields, just click, and you can change the date, change the price, change the name, whatever you want to do. Now, if you do want to retain that previous offer for your records, another thing you can do is just mark, as Eleni put right there, the transaction to fall through and just start a brand new one. Creating a transaction only takes like 10 seconds, so it really is not going to be a huge overhaul if you do want to create a new one. And one more trick I'll just show, Eleni, if you want to return to the main transactions page,
sure,
you can actually click on that little blue drop down arrow if you hover over a right below, if you hover over a transaction, yep, that little hiding guy back there, you can copy the transaction as well. So with that copy icon, if you click on that, it will actually let you determine below what exactly you want to copy over. So maybe you want to include the checklist, maybe you want to copy purchase information, maybe you want to leave that blank because you want to start from scratch. So that is a quick way to just duplicate the transaction without having to go through every single step to replicate it.
Yeah, that's always nice to be able to just quickly save some time. I mean, there's nothing worse than having to redo a lot of work that you've already done. So that's a great tip for everyone out there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my long-winded response to, you can really do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know one of the questions is, can zipCRM benefit office staff and transaction coordinators to do their job? Which I know with transactions zipForm edition, there's typically, it's one username and password per person. You don't typically share accounts because you do need to have a NERDS ID through NAR membership, correct? And so once the integration is set, really you can have your transaction coordinator come in and manage your transactions from your checklist here, like I showed earlier, just clicking on this gear and getting, oops, did I click on one that, let me go back, and just clicking on the gear. Let me try that again on a different transaction. And then once you get that going, then you can go ahead and have your transaction coordinator manage files or get files and review or do whatever they need to do from here. Is that correct too? Yeah. And then of course, getting those files put in and having all the attachments in your checklist is something, because we do have unlimited document storage, so you can, you can have all of your documents in one location, so you can see, do I have everything that I need here? And one easy step where you can just really look and see if there's all the forms are in there. Is there a way that, I know I'm not the expert on the transaction side on zipCRM on zipForms, if you could show us, Laura, how they would be able to see all of their forms for a particular transaction?
Yeah. So if you want to open any transaction, doesn't matter which one.
Okay.
Yep. And go over to that third tab, which is Documents, on that gray bar up at the top. Yep. You can see all of your transactions, or all of your forms rather, that belong to that specific transaction. So if you want to get a general overview of what forms you have access to, there's also a Forms tab in the extreme upper left that is going to just show you all of the libraries you have access to at a glance. So if you click on if you click on the drop down at the top and you have multiple libraries, you can toggle back and forth between those libraries. But if you just want to see what forms you have in a transaction, what you're missing, you can just open up the file and go directly to Documents. And the nice thing you'll see that Eleni has even done in here is you have your smart forms. Those are the ones that have that little ZFX extension. So that shows you that that is a fillable smart form inside of zipForm that you can actually go fill out, manipulate data inside of, and ultimately send through eSign or over to zipCRM or Wise Agent in order to further manage the forms over there. Another thing that you can do is add a PDF document in, as Eleni has done here, and you can do that a couple of different ways. Number one, if you've created a template and you add PDFs to that template, those will carry over seamlessly to your transaction. Another option, if you have a PDF that is specific to that deal or transaction file, if you go directly up from where you're at, there is an icon that says Add Doc. Yep. And you can browse for a document and pull in a PDF. You can also leverage outside cloud-based providers like Dropbox, Google Drive, Box, or OneDrive in order to pull any outside documents that are residing in those cloud-based programs into your zipForm account. So a lot of different options for bringing those forms in. And then again, those seamlessly carry over to zipCRM so that you can further manage them there.
Okay, so the ZFX is what will kind of point out that this is a fillable file that they can send out to anybody. Yep, and I'm assuming that I would just be able to select and then click on eSign to get e-signatures out.
Yep, you can do it that way. Alternately, you can just click on eSign, and on that first step, it's going to have you select the documents you want. So let's go back for a sec. If you just click on eSign, in that first step, if you click on plus new, it's that little button in the upper left.
Oh, yeah.
You can select from all of the documents or forms that you've added to that transaction file, and then you can send them through e-signature. And Eleni, if I'm not mistaken, you can also see those e-signature packets on the zipCRM side, correct?
Yes, correct. So you can see those as well on here. And then even from here, we also have an integration with Docusign. So you can send your your forms through Docusign as well from here. So you can attach that here.
We also do have a Docusign integration on the zipForm side as well. So as you can see right there, so you can send documents through Docusign on that side. I know that some people are Docusign users, some prefer to use Digital Link. Maybe it's part of your member benefit. Either way, those documents are going to find their way over to zipCRM.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the beauty of the integration is that there's some things that kind of overlap like DocuSign and Cloud CMA, but really the nice part about it is that we work really well together to just provide the most value for the agents being able to do. You guys are so busy, especially now with with the way that real estate is right now. There's a lot of transactions happening, a lot of offers going out there. Of course, only one person can win one of those offers, but it's nice being able to have these options where you can come in from your transaction side and send out documents for signature from here. Or if, like we said earlier, if you're using a transaction coordinator or somebody, they can log into your CRM. Wise Agent and zipCRM are team friendly, so you can have up to 5 team members with one login to be able to access any of the things, or you can give them permissions on what they can access or what they can't access. And what's nice about that is then you have that flexibility where you could send these things through here for signature as well. So you can have that digital signature integration here as well. Speaking of integrations, I did want to talk a little bit about our contacts as well. I know we talked a little bit about, how on the transaction side on the zipForm edition, you can sync your contacts with Google or I don't think it's a sync, it's just just one directional. Is that correct? You just get your contacts in from Google once?
Yep, you pull them in from Google, and in zipForm, what I'll just add is it is going to be a sync until you sign out of your account, at which point it will resync to your zipForm contacts. However, if you want to import them all so that they remain inside of zipForm, there's a way to do that as well.
Okay. Yeah, and then we also have an integration with Google. So we have a 2-way integration where you can have all of your contacts syncing back and forth between your Gmail account and your Wise Agent account. So anytime your phone rings, your contacts are coming up on your phone with their picture and all the data that you have in here as well. One thing I wanted to show also, let me delete this contact because this is my demo contact. So one thing I wanted to show was what happens when a contact comes into the CRM side, into either zipCRM or Wise Agent. What we have created is a unique way of scraping social media and getting contact from them, specifically from an email address that they've entered. So this is maybe you get a partial lead in with just their email address only, and they don't fill out the second half of the form that asks for their name and everything else in here. So you get a contact that's just a partial lead coming into the CRM, and what we do is we'll scrape social media and go out and get all of their information that's made public on social media. So you can see here, it'll capture their image from whatever, Instagram or Facebook. It'll get their first and last name, their title, the company they work for. And then you can see, we also have an integration with Gmail, so you can read all your email messages. If I've been signed into a Google account, you can see that. And then this lead enhancement, this is where I would be able to see all of the social media accounts that are connected to that email address. So I can go to their AngelList account or their LinkedIn profile or Pinterest or Twitter. So if I want to see their last 3 tweets, I can just click on this Twitter feed and it'll show me their last 3 tweets, and I can retweet them or favorite them or do whatever. I can also see their LinkedIn bio in their notes. So I can come in here and just read everything about them without having to go to their LinkedIn profile and seeing everything. It would just bring it into me here. And now I can start making decisions on maybe, well, why did they come into, why, how did I get them as a lead? It looks like they're in New York and I'm in Arizona. Well, maybe in their LinkedIn profile later on here, they've accepted a position in Arizona. Now I can see why they've reached out to me. So I can start making a connection somehow, some way, trying to find something to really deepen and start a relationship with this person. And then, of course, you can do so many other things here. You can have their, like I showed earlier, their text messages. You could schedule emails to go out You could set up their marketing. You could see their family, maybe they, and add their children and their relatives and even their pets. So that's really important to making sure when you're building those relationships, you're including their pets when you're asking about them. And then we also have an integration with BombBomb and all sorts of other integrations. The one being Cloud CMA. I wanted to show that as well here. So you can just click on the CMA button. It will require a full address. So let me go to this demo contact here. And it'll require a full address and an email. And I can just, again, quickly and easily create the CMA and set it up to go out automatically on a subscription basis. So I can set it up to go out every 3 months, 6 months, or a year, and then have it have this going out, just repeatedly without me having to do anything. So every 3 months, they will get an email with their personalized home value report attached to it. And of course, you want to make sure that this is, really speaks to them. So Michael, this is your home valuation report. And so now I've customized the subject line. This will be going out. So I can click this to go out every 3 months. And now I can pretty much guarantee that, especially when there's a home value report in my inbox, I'm going to read that 100% of the time. And I would say most home buyers, homeowners will be doing the same thing. And so this is a great way of, again, reaching out to them and building that relationship, kind of showing them what value that they've acquired in the last several months, or not. And they can start making decisions in their real estate portfolio. So I wanted to point that out as well. Let's see. So there's so many questions in here. Did you have one, Laura, that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, let's take a quick look.
Yeah, so one of the questions here from Paige is, I have a zipCRM account, but my zipForm transaction account isn't recognizing it. So Paige, if you could reply back to us in a chat, and we can talk to you privately about that, so we can get that going for you. And so someone else is asking, I already have a Wise Agent account. How can I get everything syncing together with my transactions? All right. So if we go to integrations and the settings page here, I guess this is the one thing I didn't show yet. So you can see all of our integrated partners here. And if you go to this transaction zipForm edition, this is already an account that's been connected, but really right here, it'll just ask you to log into your zipForm, your transaction zipForm edition. And then once you log in, you'll automatically have this single sign-on. And again, you'll be able to do all those things that we talked about, getting your transactions, getting your forms and everything else being pulled in here.
All right, yeah, Eleni, I see a couple questions that I can answer. One is zipCRM a part of the association membership? So off the top of my head, I can't think of any state associations that do offer zipCRM as a member benefit, so it would be just an additional charge. Another option, I would just recommend reach out to your association, just be sure, say, hey, what do you offer as a member benefit? Even if it's not zipCRM, you might find out something you don't know. Maybe they offer eSign, maybe they offer zipForm mobile. So would just really recommend, if you don't know what's offered at your association level through your dues, just reach out to the association executives and say, hey, what am I offered as part of my member benefit?
Right, exactly. Is there a discussion log mechanism in the CRM side? So yes, and I think what you're talking about is maybe either what we have as our call list and our notes, which is a great tool. So you can come in here and once, while you're having a conversation with one of your contacts, you can schedule a call with them. So I can just quickly add them as, the next follow-up date, or, if we're trying to save time and money here, I would set that up in my lead rules where I would come in here and I would set up to automatically add them to my call list. So then when I come in the morning, every day I log into my CRM, when I come into my office, it's already added all of my new leads into the CRM for me. And so then when I come to the call list, I can have a couple of different options. So we're integrated with a few dialers, and there's some more integrations coming soon, but I can really just go ahead and just select all of these, select any one of these people, click on the little call button there, and then just make the phone call. I can use the click to call functionality, or again, use one of our integrated partners, the dialing system, and then put in my notes in here. So I can start reading my notes or adding my notes, and then setting up the follow-up. So now I can say, I need to call them again next week, and I need to talk about, whatever we just discussed here. And then I can put in my notes, discussed, blah, 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 right? So I can put all this in here, and then I have my follow-up already done, and I can complete this call, and then it'll take me to the next person. So that'll attach the note, it'll add the follow-up, and then it will, I only click this complete button, and then it'll then go to the next call in progress. And now I, call Clark Kent here, and then put in my notes and go through and do my follow-up as well. So that's really a great way of doing that. The other way is, just when you're talking to somebody or whatever, you can just add your notes here. So you can just click on the notes and just add a note directly from here. And what we've done is you can, if you add a note and there's no follow-up or anything, you're just like, oh, called them and, they're not interested. You don't have to add a follow-up, but you do have the option to add a follow-up. Hopefully they are interested, or, at a later date. You can even, select this and, way out into the future. So if you wanted to do it, next year, February, you wanted to call them, then you can set it up as far out as you want. And then save that, and that will be your follow-up, and it will be added to your call list. So hopefully that answered your question. You can also, so if I'm setting this out way out into the future, I would probably update his status to future opportunity, and then just say, well, maybe there's somebody that I'll still be sending them out my newsletter. I'll still be doing this, that, and the other. So I can be, ranking them as well. In this top part of the dashboard here, on the contact page, you can see their status, their rank, the date that we met, the date added to the CRM, and then the number of calls that I've made, and text messages or emails. So that's always a nice, indicator to see, am I really following up? Am I doing what I need to do? Okay, I've met this person in 2018. We've had 20 phone calls, 14 text messages. We email a lot. So maybe this is their preferred method, and I can add that as a category. Their preferred method of contact is email. So then that can be something that goes into my CRM as well. All right.
Eleni, I saw a question just came through about drip campaigns.
Yes.
Is that something that you can check?
Yeah, so definitely. Our drip campaigns are a great way of keeping in touch with people. So you could either create your own drip campaign, your own custom program, or you could use one of our stock programs that you could just send out as is, or you could modify them. So we have our drip campaigns are written in English and in Spanish. So, and we have everything from a 6-touch, 10-touch, 8-touch, 12-touch. So you can really have a lot of different options for yourself there. I'm just going to go to this open house campaign that I've already created. And really what I can do is I can, and I'm going to just skip over to this first event here. Is what I'm going to do is I can set this up to go out the day after I, add after I've gotten the lead coming into my Wise Agent account. So if I'm setting this up for a campaign that's for, leads that are coming in from either my Facebook ads or any internet leads that I'm getting or from my website, I can choose what day that I want them to start. So 0 would be the day that I got those leads in, or day 1 would be the day after I got them. And then I can set the preferred time that the message goes out, and I can set up what kind of action that I want to take. So I can set it up to have a text message go out, and I can include a link to it. I could, type up my message and then delete this and start it again. So I can include an image. So maybe if I'm doing, maybe I have a new listing and I'm inviting people to the open house. I can send an attachment of the flyer that I've created in Wise Agent that takes like 45 seconds to create. So I can go ahead and see, and just say flyer attached. Obviously, it would be a little bit more thoughtful of a message than that. I can send a test, which is something that I always tell everyone that they should be doing. Make sure you test your emails, your text messages, that you receive them first before you send them out to 300-400 people, to make sure that the message is clear. There's no typos. It's not as aggressive as this one, which just says flyer attached. So make sure that you test this, and then you can save this and go on to the next one. And then the next one, you can send out an email. So you can have, let me go to the next event. The next event could be an email that's part of our canned replies that are canned drip campaigns, or you could use one of our templates here. So I could just use something about, top 5 mistakes a seller makes. I could have this part of, my drip campaign. And this would go out automatically to them, and it would be branded with their information and with their contact information here. Okay, so that's how the marketing would work. It goes out automatically as however you set it, and really quickly. And I think we could even post blog and a video on how the marketing would work, our drip campaigns work as well. I did want to show our property flyers. I see a couple of questions about that. We have, I don't know how many templates, but we have quite a few templates here that you can select and just create a really nice property flyer. So you would just create your property from here, and then select the template that you want. And then once you select all of this, you could select what color schema you have. You could select what images that you want. You could upload other images here as well. And then this is where you would select whatever your color schema is, put in your headline, put in your details here, and then it would go out and just be created really quickly and really easily. The question that just came in is, how could you add a house photo to the file after the file has been established? After the file has been established, you could just go back, and if you're talking about the flyer, so I could come here and I could just click on this upload and then upload another image from here. So I wouldn't, I could just select that. So if I did that, then I can just refresh this page. And then there's that image there. Okay. Were there some questions that you wanted to answer, Laura?
Yeah, so I saw a couple questions come through on eSign. I see that Camilla asked these. I wanted to make sure that these are pertaining to zipForm. I would assume that they are because it's referencing the eSign setup. So Eleni, if you want to return to transaction zipForm edition for just a moment. Someone has asked, how do you format signatures so you don't need to drag for each offer? So the really nice thing about using those smart forms or those ZFX files is that, or zipForm forms, is that they're all going to pre-tag with signature tasks automatically. There's nothing that you have to do, regardless of whether you're using digital ink or the Docusign integration. Those fillable forms are going to tag automatically. If you have a PDF document at this time, you do need to drag and drop those signature tasks to the PDFs. That's just the function of eSign inside of zipForm right now. The system doesn't recognize those documents, so it needs a little bit of help from you to figure out where you want your signers to sign. Someone has also asked, I'm new to using the program. Where do you save the documents as a PDF before setting up the eSign? So the nice thing too, again, with the fillable forms, there's no reason you have to convert them to PDF. They'll do that automatically in the eSign process. So you can just select them. And if you want to click eSign, Eleni, just so I can show everyone where those are, they'll actually flow over as either zipForm smart forms or as PDFs. So you can select them in exactly the format that they're in right on this page. If they're fillable, they'll pre-tag automatically. If they're PDFs, you just have to drag and drop the signature.
Nice. I know that's something that's really nice, is to have those fillable forms already out. Is that something that they can do on any form, or is that something just specific forms that allow that?
Every form offers that. That is part of your state association, your local MLS, even custom brokerage forms. I saw that question come through earlier. Those forms automatically update if there's a change, and they also automatically pre-tag. So look for that little ZFX extension. If you see that, you know there's nothing you have to do on those forms when you send them through eSign. One thing I would recommend, just give them a quick glance over and make sure everything is tagged in the proper place, especially if it's a form that requires checking checkboxes. Just make sure everything is where you need it to be.
Awesome. Yeah. And that's something, I mean, that's a good point for everyone. Like I said earlier about sending a text message or an email, is making sure that you're checking things before you send them out, because that's one thing that you want to make sure that you're keeping up, keeping a good reputation for yourself, and, making sure that you're checking any mistakes before those go through. So then no one really kind of sees any of that. There's a couple of questions in here that are specifically about your account. Someone said that Melanie's just did a contract last night, and some signatures and initials didn't go in automatically. So if you have specific questions about your account, or either on the transaction zipForm edition or on the CRM side, Wise Agent or zipCRM, please reach out to us. I know that we've got a couple of people in here. We're going to post our support email address and phone number for you guys for the CRM side, for you to reach out to specifically with questions about your stuff. And then maybe if you guys can do that as well, Laura, if you guys can have someone post about that as well, that'd be great. Sure. I know, yeah, and I know there's a lot of questions in here that we haven't been able to get to, but we will be sending out emails with your answers as well. So just bear with us while we go through them. There's way more of you than there is of us today. So one question here is, maybe you can answer, Laura, is there a way to find any of the files that have been deleted from can you delete files from here?
You can. My recommendation would be do not if it's avoidable, because the tricky thing about deleted files, there's really no way to recover them, unfortunately. One thing you can do if it's within a 30-day period is, Ellen, if you want to make your way over to the dashboard on all the way to the left, there is a period on, just scroll down, there's a period in which those files that you've deleted will still be retained. It's called transaction retention periods ending. And you can see we have quite a few right now. Yeah. So we probably had some files deleted. If you click on that, it's going to run a full report of all of those transactions. You do have the opportunity to still retain those, but again, after that 30-day window, it does get a little bit difficult to get them back. So if you can avoid deleting your transactions, would really recommend just changing the status, because then you have it, all of your files inside of zipForms stay for the total of your state retention period. So I know some states have a 3-year period, some have a 7-year period. If in doubt, reach out to your association at the state level and find out, ask, hey, what's my DRA retention period? And they'll be able to tell you how long those transactions stay in zipForm before they're deleted automatically.
Okay. And then can you, okay, yeah, so you can update your statuses just by clicking on the status that's currently there. That would be your best way of you know, kind of just saying fall through instead of deleting.
Yep, and you can actually do it from, I mean, that's a new transaction creation window. If you pop into the transaction itself, it has that board that you were looking at earlier, right across the top, the prospect pending. You can change the status there as well. Truly, it doesn't matter. All roads lead to Rome at the end of the day. So you'll find that there's multiple different ways to access certain points in zipForm, and any way is fine.
Okay, nice. Nice. Yeah, I personally like doing those little shortcuts, finding these places where you can just click on, you know, from status here, and I can just click on fell through or whatever and save it. And you can do the same within Wise Agent. So let me go to our contact list. So if you want to change what I was showing earlier on one of the contexts here, is you can have these statuses and these ranks. And what you can do is really do these bulk actions where you can just come in here and send. So one of the bulk actions that I love is sending a text message. So I can send a text message to all these people, Darren and Clark and Camilla and Vincent. And what will happen is I'll have a little pop-up here. I can put in their first name, and that's the placeholder. So when it goes to Darren, it'll say, hi, Darren. When it goes to Clark, it'll say, hi, Clark. And what's nice is that they're not in a group text. That's the worst, group text with a bunch of strangers. And so it would just be an individual text message that goes out, but you do it in a really, in a fashion that just saves you a ton of time. Because this is, you know, to do this, send out, you know, even 50 text messages through your iPhone or your Android phone would take you at least 10-15 minutes, even if you're copying and pasting. So this is a great way of sending out marketing materials through texting in a bulk fashion. You can also update their status. So you can say, these are all people that I attempted to reach out to, or, you know, they are, they're active, or their future opportunity or whatever. So I can set their statuses as well. I could also do a set their rank. So I can say, these are all of my A-ranked clients, or adding a note. So I could add a note to each one of these. So if I'm doing, I still love getting and sending handwritten notes to people. So if I want to write a whole bunch of note cards to people that I'm sending out, then I can just attach this. I can put in my note, and it will attach that note to all 30 of them, saying, you know, sent handwritten note. And so that will go out to, and this will get added to all of them with that, that note in there. So that's really a great way of saving time, saving you some energy as well. All right, I think we've come up to the conclusion of our time here. I'm sorry if we didn't answer all of your questions, but just rest assured that we will get to those in an email, hopefully by the end of this week. So everyone will get their questions answered. If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to our teams. I think we've already posted that, a way to reach out to us and our support staff. So feel free to do that. Just as a reminder on how to do that here. And then if you wanted to try out zipCRM or Wise Agent, feel free to go to wiseagent.com/lonewolf. It'll take you to this page. You can click on the sign up free, and you can just register for this. And once you register for this, you will, for your zipCRM account, you will get a 14-day free trial. you will get a 30-minute getting started session. That's a one-on-one getting started session. And then we'll help you and walk you through all of the training materials that we have provided for everyone. So you'll get all the free training and free support that you'll need. So, and then Laura, did you just want to remind everyone how to get their transaction zipForm edition?
Yep, absolutely. So if you just go to, let me pop it into the chat here. You just go to ziplogix.com/NAR member benefit. And there you can sign up for a zipForm account totally free of charge if you are a member of NAR, and you would know you're a member of NAR if you pay dues to the National Association of Realtors. I saw that question come up a little bit earlier. So yeah, you can feel free to go and sign up for your free account there. Alternately, if you think that if you're a broker, you think you might have interest in a brokerage zipForm account, which is what Eleni was using today, you can feel free to contact our team. That number is 866-CRY-WOLF. And I've popped that also into the chat for anyone who needs that number.
Yes, and then Yvonne, this is for you. This is where you would go to get that 14-day free trial. And then I hope to see you guys again next week when we have our next webinar here at Wise Agent. Laura, thank you so much for being on today. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the tips that you gave everyone. Thanks so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Thanks everyone for your time as well.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.